Hello everyone, this is Rosemary once again, and this is a walkthrough for my recipe book for the wire-bound recipe book swap. And as you can see, my closure's elastic and I hooked it onto the wire there. This chicken has quite a little story there. Once I decided I was going to do a recipe book, I went to the thrift stores looking for a book that I could kind of take apart. And as I was walking in the 25-cent bin, there it was. It was a chicken illustrated recipe book. And so for 25 cents, there it went. As you can see the cover, I cut it out and then I made it into a pocket, because one thing I know about when I have recipes, sometimes I just put them right there, or I want to try a recipe, and I thought that would be very handy. It is cardstock on a file folder. The back, as you can see, is pretty plain, and it's been Mod Podge because when you're cooking, it can probably get smudged. So here we go. I bought some paper from Hobby Lobby, and I kind of ran out of some space right here, and in the corner, because I didn't measure correctly, I put a little flour. And this comes from the original book here, Main Dishes and Casserole. Expanded the page there. And this is one of the embellished paper clips, and I left a lot of space. So there are some recipe cards, and one side I just put a white rectangle. On the other side I put strips of paper. This was some stationery I picked up at a thrift store, and what I did was I folded it. You can see right here I folded it over 3/4 of an inch to reinforce it. Anytime you have like this wire bound, it's going to bound kind of journal, it's going to have a little bit more wear and tear. And then I had these little rectangles left over, so the other side of the border, and I glued them on because it kind of added on to the decoration and plus reinforced the paper. I added some coffee stain paper, and quite some time ago I found some printables, these large mason jars, and I have been fixated on them, and I just kind of wanted to make a recipe book with them. So I decided that I would run the copy, which you can find it on Pinterest. This is what it looked like. It's in color. I did mine in black and white, and I cut my scrap paper so it could fit into my copy machine, and I just ran it through. And so there I have some colored mason jars. And right here in the middle is a file folder. And unfortunately, for those of you who are perfectionists, they don't quite fit perfectly, but good enough. So where there was a little overlap, I just put some color into it, and they seem to be okay. So here's that stationery paper, coffee stained. I put for each section, there are 2 mason jars, front and back. And then I put this pocket here. This is a pocket, but what's interesting about this pocket is it is a foldable that you used to kind of see in mini albums quite some time ago. And I made it, this is an area where you can add some more recipes. It has a pocket. And here I made it into another pocket. You can, again, it's kind of plain because I figure whoever receives this can, write in, and once they finish writing, they can embellish. So that's the pattern of this recipe book. We have kind of like the title pages. This one happened to have a pocket, and then I would put 2 recipe cards. I would put the decorated paper just for more writing, coffee stain, mason jar, the stationery paper, coffee stain, mason jar, this pocket, and you can see they're all very different. I received this stash, and here you can kind of see the foldables. Now the original paper, I covered it because I wanted some variety. I wanted to add some color into this. These little cards I picked up, this was like the first thing I ever picked up as I was starting my adventure, and at that time it was mini albums, and I picked this up, so you know they've been in my stash for quite some time. So look at, isn't this cute? The little chicks decorating the pie. So again, this in itself, these are the mason jar stamps, and what I did was I stamped them and then I enlarged them like 30%, so that's why they look a little bit larger. That was a stamp I picked up at Michael's, and there, as you can see, there's plenty of room for recipes, cooking tips. I think when you write, you should tell a little story about your food. The comfort food is, I didn't realize how important comfort food was until my sons went to boot camp, and they said they had visions of some of the food I used to make, which I didn't think was, you know, particularly exciting. Just my basic, you know, macaroni, macaron, and this and that, which I thought was a nice, you know, catch-all. This is another embellished paper clip right there. You can see with a little watermelon. And then this one, again, the same pattern with the stationery mason jar. This one is a little bit out of sequence, but that's okay. I don't see anything wrong with that. And each section kind of ends with a pocket. And because this was the end of the book, it had a few more sheets. And this was a glassine bag I made from a napkin. And I have some conversions here, I believe, which I think are really handy, and it could fit in this pocket. So as you can see, there's a lot of room for putting in your recipes, writing cooking tips in. Sorry, it was a... But what I wanted to show you, as I've already showed you once, these were the mason jars. You can find them on Pinterest. This is the stationery, and I just happened to pick it out, and I had forgotten about it. What I do is I folded it over. This is a little strip that you see in the back, and you know, you never know what you can find. And I didn't buy the bag of stationery for this at all. I bought it for this birthday card. This is the pockets. You get it, your scrapbook paper, score it at 3 inches and at, what is it, 9 inches. You fold it, and you can see the little points that are folded, and you can see where it meets. Now, when I first originally saw this, it was for a mini journal, so they glued it on. I cut mine in half because it was going to be wire bound, but you can see how it would fit into a journal. And many of you are wondering, what about this? Well, this is where you kind of can glue some kind of shape, a rectangle, a frame, and you saw some of those, and then move on with this. On the back, actually how it was in the mini was you would fold it, it'd be like the center of your signature, and then you would have, you would glue it like an L, and there would be another pocket up there. This idea is in YouTube. I can't recall exactly who I saw this from, but I thought it worked very well for this recipe book. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.